was really good.
Just hit record.
You're welcome, everyone.
Oh, what's going on, dude?
I just woke up from a nap.
No, like when she says just, like I was banging on the door. Like, let me in.
Yeah, Callum pulled up and I went,
I had to text
coming,
her.
my liege.
I had to text her and be like, bitch, let me in.
Oh, I'm silly. I'm a silly, goofy girl.
Love a nap, though. All I've wanted is a good 3-hour deep nap.
That was me yesterday.
I wake up like 7 days later, disorientated, right? Like the sky outside has changed so drastically.
No.
I'm convinced I've missed work, right? But every time I go to nap lately, I literally can only nap every episode. I only nap for like half an hour.
That's crazy.
I know.
No, I'm out for the count.
No.
And then I'm up for like a couple of hours. And then it's nighttime and I'm like, right, let's do this again. Round 2.
People who say that if they nap or if they drink coffee, like late in the day, that they can't sleep, weak as fuck.
Not my kind of people.
Not my kind of
Pussy ass fucking bitches.
Dude, I could be having a triple shot coffee at 10 p.m. at night and I'm asleep by 11.
Right to bed. I'm like, oh, that knocked me out. That was so soothing.
Oh, that was exhausting.
Yeah, today drained me.
I wonder what that says about us.
Probably that we're low in iron would be my first bet, but
I think we're okay.
I think we're just really just fun, calm people.
Yeah.
We're not wired. Nothing can bring us down.
Yeah. We're just at peace.
Yeah.
Be at peace like we are,
Yeah.
and then you'll be able to sleep after triple shots of coffee. Yeah. Well, here we are, my dude.
Well.
What a week. Oh, my day. This week's gone on forever. It's gone on forever, but can you believe it's March?
It went real quick for me.
Like, I just can't believe it's already March.
And you know what? It's going to zoom by because we've got Formula 1. There's a public holiday next Monday.
Well, I don't like Mondays anyway.
But for everyone else involved, everyone else will have the day off.
And I hate that. Nothing ruins my day off more than the entire general public also having the day off.
And then, yeah, Formula 1. Formula 1. And Gather Round. Is Gather Round in March? Gather Round?
No, it's in April.
Is it in April?
Yeah. It's
Damn.
like near your birth. Oh, no, it's like early April, I think.
And then April, we've got like 2 working days because it's Easter, it's Anzac Day, it's Gather Round, and it's my birthday, which should be considered a public holiday in and of itself.
So Gather Round is 10th to the 13th of April.
Damn.
Let's get Easter dates. Easter is then, the 18th to the 21st of April.
Yep, so the week after. And then that same week on the Friday, we've got Anzac Day, so that's a long weekend and a shorter week. And then the Tuesday after is my birthday. Everyone mark your calendars. We're booked and busy.
I'm excited for April then, because basically we're not working.
No. So I'm going to need you to take that Tuesday off and have like a 4-day weekend for me. You can tell Pat and Heath that I said that that's okay. Don't even file it. I'll approve it right now.
I'll just play them this clip. It's fine. Is that Ron Swanson in Parks
And you know what?
Rec?
They'll be like, yeah, bet.
Pat will be like, well, my hands are tied.
What can I do?
She puts up a good argument. No, it's like in Parks and Recs when they like use the park and one of the inspector people is like, do you have permission to be here? And Ron Swanson pulls out a piece of paper and it's like, I have approved this, Ron Swanson.
Me. Actually me.
Oh, what's been happening? Give me the 411. I've missed your face.
I don't know. But I haven't been doing a lot.
See, this is the problem. Is we both were like, we don't want to do anything. We just want to sit at home and write, and we've done that.
Yeah, I've read lots. I've watched one thing,
which is a lot.
But I'm saying reading lots. I've read 2 things. I've watched one thing. Well, I've watched one new thing and one old thing. So the old thing's maths,
and one thing blue,
and blue me being sad. No, I don't know. Yeah, so I really haven't done anything but in saying that though, I have done something almost every night this week. Let me refer
interesting. What have you done?
So
Because that means you're doing shit without me, and that's going to piss me the fuck off.
So, on, where are we? What week are we? All right, Monday.
Yeah.
Did I do Monday? Did we do anything Monday?
I don't know. We didn't do anything Monday, no.
No, I don't have anything on Monday in my calendar, but I'm sure I did something.
Okay.
I don't know.
It wasn't even a week ago.
Anyway, apologies if I hung out with someone and I don't remember. Tuesday, Golden Boy with Emily for family dinner. Fun time.
That's a good Tuesday.
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Did you do Feed Me?
Yeah. The menu's changed. Miserable.
Do you still get beef cheek?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Yes.
That's all that I care
about. Yeah. Like, there were some new additions, but, like, the old favourites were there.
Oh,
And
okay,
all of the
good.
desserts are the same.
Okay,
So that's
cool.
fine. Wednesday, we had dinner.
Yeah.
Which turned into a drink afterwards, which knocked my socks off.
That
Because I
was
was
a lot
like,
for you.
on a school night, this is crazy. And that was it.
Oh. So Thursday and Friday are only counted
It
for.
was just Golden Boy for dinner.
No,
Maybe something on Monday, but I really can't
No,
remember.
let's go back to
Can't remember.
I did something every night this week.
Did I not say almost every night?
Only to be told that you only went out Tuesday and Wednesday.
That's almost every night.
Fuck.
It's scary out there.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
What
great.
a vibe.
Fun times be had by all.
Oh, and like, it's literally the 1st of March. No, the 2nd of March is where we're recording this. And I'm already like, you know what, summer, we had fun.
Summer's over.
I'm over
Summer is over. I need clouds. I need rain.
I feel-
Only when I'm home, though.
I feel like I didn't beach and river at all this summer. I really just wasn't vibing the heat this year. Do you feel like that?
I feel like we didn't beach a lot, but I
Yeah.
feel like you went to the river quite a fair bit, but like at the beginning of summer.
Yeah, okay.
Like December.
I'm going this month. Do you want to come this month for Brody's birthday?
No.
Okay.
Look, all right. Maybe. When is it?
22nd.
Of March. 20.
You're going to make up some fake ass bullshit that you've got.
Look, it's looking free, but okay, I'll tentatively pencil that in, but that's, I'm putting question
That means
marks.
she's not coming.
I'm putting question marks in front of it.
That means that she's
no,
not coming.
It's not that I don't like Brody. God bless that man. It's that I don't like the river.
Yeah.
Brody's birthday.
It's my dream to get you up there. And then I just picture you sat in a deck chair, sunnies on, just miserable.
Yeah.
And that will warm my heart.
This. Question mark, Brody's birthday at the Swamp. All day on the 22nd.
Hell yeah.
What an interesting choice of birthday adventure activity.
Not really, because he spends a lot of time up there.
What an interesting choice of activity to center your personality around. That's crazy.
Oh, dear. Alrighty. Let's jump into it.
My sock, once again, the bottom is at the top and it's not right.
That's it, guys. We've got to stop recording.
Oh my
'cause-
goodness. That's better.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You can take this one if you want.
You wrote it.
Yeah, but you can take it.
Oh.
You also participated in this. I saw you on our Instagram stories. You know
I
what?
love that you're just handballing it to me. You're like, I'm actually just
No,
here.
you take this one. You
You're
take
like,
this one.
I just
yeah.
watch.
Yeah. I'll commentate here and there. You can.
Okay, so
There you go. I prepared for
we're in
you.
shambles again every week. We're in shambles.
I've
Okay,
post-writ this segment for you.
everyone, just focus, okay? So, pop culture news for the week, and we're gonna get really angry, okay?
When are we not?
Facts. So,
Fairfax.
Fairfax.
Is that a company? I'm pretty
Fairfax Media, like they own like the Sydney Morning Herald,
TM.
the Daily Telegraph. So, this week in Australian media, Marty Sheargold publicly outed himself as a misogynist and proved that it sucks to suck. So, if you've missed this, you either live under a rock or you're a privileged white male who this doesn't affect.
Literally.
So, on Monday, Marty Sheargold, he has his own program on Triple M Radio, which is like the drive program. So it's prime time. That's like
It's
when motherfuckers are driving home.
It's literally, called the Marty Sheargold Show.
Yeah, like could not be any more about Marty Sheargold if we tried. Anyway, and he's been in radio for fucking eons and eons.
Forever.
Anyway, so he was on the program on Monday and they're going through like the sports news of the week. And they're talking about how the Matildas lost their opening 2 games in the She Believes Cup in the US. And Marty Sheargold goes, you know what they remind me of? Year 10 girls. All the infighting and all the friendship issues. The coach hates me and I hate bloody training and Michelle's being a bitch. Now, I'm sorry to undermine the whole sport, but that's what I think of it, so you can stick it up your ass. And then he says, again, this is fucking like 5:30 in the afternoon or like drive period, like prime time, that he would rather mutilate himself than watch the girls in next year's Asia Cup, which Australia will host. And then when his like co-host or whoever the other fucking man was going on about like other women's sports, Sheargold cuts him off and goes, have you got any men's sports? So this got clipped and spread like wildfire on social media. First of all, hats off to the women that found this and shared this. Personally, I don't listen to Triple M and I never will, have no interest in it. But I'm glad that you brought this to our attention. This spread like fucking wildfire and it got so much backlash. So Rosie Malone, who plays for the Hockey Roos, the Australian field hockey team, she's the one that posted it to her Instagram stories. And she wrote, I heard this on the radio yesterday in prime time, so 5:30, on the way to training. And all I could think about was the young girls sitting in their car with their parents, maybe on their way to and from their own training sessions, hearing this. I'm sure many of them would have been hurt and confused. I was in disbelief. So this blows up. Lots of people were speaking out about it, being like, this is bullshit, particularly when, like, it's not cool to say this whatsoever, but particularly off the back of Matildas having like the most successful like spotlight moment of theirs, like in recent years with the World Cup or, you know.
Literally, like the semi-final was the most watched television event ever. And then the second most watched television event was the quarterfinal.
Meanwhile, like the men's views are tanking.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But no, please, let's listen to men's sports. And so then Sheargold and Triple M released a half-assed public apology saying, Triple M, it was very like whatever.
Stock standard. M, yeah.
And then Sheargold's piece goes, any comedy, including mine, can miss the mark sometimes. And I can see why people have taken offense at my comments regarding the Matildas. I sincerely apologize. First of all, that's not comedy. Nothing he said was even remotely funny.
Yeah.
And I know people are going to be like, oh, but maybe you can't take a joke. Listen, I can laugh at some pretty fucked up shit, right? If this wasn't funny.
Yeah, if that's the top caliber of your comedic content,
I suggest you go be an accountant.
figure it the fuck out, dude.
Right? But then it gets worse. So some people had also figured out or found that the following day on the Tuesday, so this is all unfolding like Tuesday, Wednesday onwards during the week. People had realized that in Tuesday's episode of the show, whatever you want to fucking call it, he had come into the studio and he was saying on air, complaining about how he had a bad back and he was borrowing a heat pack from one of the women in the team. And he's saying how he's on Voltaren and he goes, women, they really carry on, controversially, but I don't think endometriosis is real.
Oh, yes.
And starts ripping. That, honestly, like the Matildas thing pissed me off and I was going to hate Marty Sheargold till he died from that alone. But that in particular, I could have hit him with my car. How fucking dare you, you pussy ass bitch. Like, I have a bad back, okay? I know a thing or two about a bad back, but nothing. Like, that is no comparison to endometriosis.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you should shut your fucking mouth. Anyway, so you have kindly given me some statistics to read.
Love a fun fact. Let's go.
So, here's some fun facts for you fucking balding old man. In the Olympics, 30 out of the 53 were won by women. 13 out of 18 gold medals were won by women too. The Tilly's World Cup semi-final was the most watched television event ever. Second most watched was the Twillies quarter-final. Okay? Yep. Now, this, Marty, she got just... It's the fact that if Rosie Malone hadn't clipped this and shared this on social media, this just would have gone no one would have said anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the fact that he did that one night and then the following night is trash talking endometriosis.
Makes you think, like, what other stuff has he said that we just haven't clocked yet?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Also
Someone go through the archives.
Also says a lot about his listenership, right?
Yeah,
For him to be able to say
truly,
this shit.
without
Like, clearly
backlash.
no one's listening to you.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? And clearly the centerpiece of his comedy, quote unquote comedy, is bashing women. Because again, it's the fact that it was back to back nights that he's like, you know what? I've got nothing funny to say, nothing funny to offer the fucking community. Let me just trash talk women while I'm an ugly ass, balding white man who offers nothing to society except for poorly, not even written jokes.
And unbrushed teeth.
And unbrushed teeth. And a bad back.
And a sickly bad back.
Like, seriously, it just fucking enrages me. Anyway, in the end, Triple M did the right thing and got rid of him.
The boot, yeah.
I will say, I think it's bullshit that they're like, it's a mutual decision to part ways. Have a backbone. Just say he's a cunt and we got rid of him because he's a cunt.
Yeah.
The other qualm that I still have is Marty might have been the one making the jokes about the Matildas, but his co-host was laughing about it. The producers that you can hear were laughing about it.
They should have been calling it out.
Right?
Sorry.
He clearly didn't get spoken to after that episode.
Yeah.
He said the endometriosis stuff. No one said anything on air then and stopped him, and then clearly didn't speak to him after that.
Are his co-hosts, are they both male?
All I heard was men.
Mm.
Let's see.
But like, if you're on Triple M and you're about sport,
his anchor Troy Ellis with producer Will Rouston and executive producer Matt Thompson. So not a woman inside.
Fuck that entire team. Boys club.
And this is why. How many times have we said men should not be able to congregate in groups of more than 2?
Yeah. Facts.
That is a danger to society because then they start sharing thoughts and they start thinking that they're really funny and nah.
It just like leads into the point where like men are given so many passes for being fucking mediocre at absolutely everything. But the minute a woman fumbles the bag once,
off with her head.
Guillotine.
You can't even have
a witch hunt.
You have a child as a woman and you're ostracized for it in the workplace. In most instances.
Like, it rocks me. It rocks me.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Like, yeah. Fucking crazy.
Hate a man.
Yeah.
I think 2025...
Triple M can suck a fat one too for letting that slide, honestly.
Not overly surprised because it's a men's network for men kind of thing.
Grow up.
Yeah. I think, personally, no more men on radio. Let's just cut it from the top.
If you're going to have a man, you need 1-for-1 ratio. 1 man, 1 woman.
Yeah.
Even that shit out right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, I could keep
Put
ranting.
us on Triple M.
No,
you want to really ruffle some feathers?
No, you know what?
Could you imagine the complaints that would come through? The statistics wouldn't be right. We wouldn't even talk about actual sports statistics.
You know what? Stealing some words from Marty Sheargold. I would rather mutilate my own body than present to an audience of men.
Yeah.
Like, if this pod's audience was mostly men...
It just wouldn't work.
We wouldn't have made it past episode 3. I'll give you that hot tip.
Work.
This is for the girls, the gays, the theys, and
but maybe
the small selection of men that aren't incels.
But then maybe we get, by being on Triple M, we get rid of all of the crusty, rusty, dusty men, and then it just becomes a fun little place for everyone else that loves sport that don't hate other people based on their gender. Wouldn't that be crazy?
I love that. But that is...
We're going to change Triple M. We're going to think about storming the Capitol. We're storming Triple M.
And we're changing the name from Triple M to Triple Cunt.
Yeah.
And we'll get a third. We'll get a third.
Maybe Triple C. Cunty.
Cute. Clever.
Clever. Yeah. Cunty, cute,
Cunty,
clever.
cute, and clever.
Triple C.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yes. And our sports segment will be headlined as Boyfriend League. And we're
Yeah.
going national.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, speaking of Boyfriend League, just really quickly, I've started making... Everyone, listen. I have already started making my draft notes for Boyfriend League for 2025.
Is it just the standouts from last year?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my god, Isaac Rankin,
Yep.
Fog,
Yep.
and probably fucking Filthy.
Yep. Bobby Hill's on there.
Oh yeah, Bobby.
And I honestly think that's it so far.
Good.
I'm nothing if not loyal. Oh dear. Well, let's talk about something that I watched this week, which is equally infuriating, to be honest. But this time we're hating on women, okay? Which is not something that we do often, but we're not opposed to it.
It's just reserved for the shit ones.
Yeah. Now, I will say a big trigger warning because we're going to be... Like, pew,
Exclamation
pew,
marks,
pew.
lasers.
Okay, so
The
we're
whole
going to
lot.
be talking about the new doco series on Disney Plus, Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Franke. And this really dives into some pretty confronting child abuse. They're not allegations because it really happened, but like it's a really serious, really confronting case about child abuse. So if this isn't your cup of tea, which is totally fine, skip ahead. And come back when we start talking about lighter, fluffier things. But yes, I'm going to dive right into this. So, A Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Franke. It's a 3-part deep dive into the case of Ruby Franke, the former YouTube vlogger and mum of 6 who was arrested for child abuse in August of 2023 and sentenced in February of 2024 after pleading guilty to aggravated child abuse of 2 of her children.
Was it really that long ago?
Yeah.
Felt like fucking 2 weeks ago.
I know.
Damn.
I have no concept of time.
No, me either.
As far as
honestly.
I'm concerned, everything happened a week ago.
Yeah.
So it features unreleased footage from the Franke family's YouTube channel, which was titled 8 Passengers. So I'm burping from the pizza I ate earlier. As well as interviews with Franke's estranged husband, Kevin Franke, 2 of their eldest children, Chad and daughter Shari. I always anyway, some friends of the family. Sorry, me getting mad at myself. Some friends of the family and neighbours as well, and also a police officer that was on the case. So, I'm going to talk through this. So, back whenever Ruby Franke and Kevin Franke, they had 7 kids. They're about to have... No, that's wrong. 5 kids. And they were about to have their...
just made 2 up. What do you mean?
I'm not good at numbers, okay? So, because I keep forgetting that I have to count Ruby and Franke in the 8. Not Ruby and Franke, Ruby and Kevin in the 8.
In 7.
No, because there's 8 of them all together, right?
But there's 5 kids.
So they had 5 kids, and then they were having their 6th,
Oh.
right? And around that time...
She was cooking the 6.
She was cooking the 6th. Ruby started posting like family vlogs to YouTube, and the account was called, I think it had another name at first, but then it was called 8 Passengers because the concept was there was 8 of them in total, right? Hence my confusion.
A Kia Carnival.
Like they're driving a minibus, right? Now they're Mormon. They're just pretty.
That makes sense for the 5.
Yeah, it's a lot. They're just kind of like a pretty stock standard. They're not poor, but they're not like super affluent. They just live a super simple life in like fucking Utah or somewhere. Anyway, so they've been posting on YouTube for a number of years, and they go viral. It really blows up. She's heavily featuring her 2 eldest kids, Chad and Shari. I'm going to call her Shari. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it wrong, and I'm going to get hate for it, but like
How would you pronounce that? Shari?
Shari? No.
Shari?
No, I don't know. It's Shari, but when I say it out loud...
That sounds Shari.
But it feels like I'm saying it different to how they said it. I don't know. Anyway, so she was primarily focusing on Chad and Shari in the videos because she realized that they, like, if they were featured in, like, the thumbnails, that the videos would do really well.
Weird.
But it was all pretty stock standard stuff. However, Chad and Shari were saying that their whole lives became centered around their filming schedule, like what mum wanted to do with the videos, right? But it was nothing bad. It was just she was really passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like one video blew up and they made like a little bit of money from it. And then that was really the catalyst for them taking this really seriously and Kevin really coming on board, and they put everything into it. Next thing you know, they're like super famous on YouTube. They're like a massive family blogger account and they're earning like hundreds of thousands in a month.
Damn.
Right?
Damn.
Yeah. It's like pretty full on. So there was like a turning point where maybe like a couple years in, right? Where there's a video and it's like Ruby and her son Chad next to her. And they're talking about how like when the kids misbehave and Ruby like takes something away from them as a punishment, she's like, you know, I don't give things back to you easily because that's not how you learn. Like I'll hold stuff for like ages, right? And then Chad's like, yeah, you know, you took away my bedroom as punishment, and I've been sleeping on a beanbag for 7 months, right? And they're just like, she's laughing about it. She thinks it's funny, right? She doesn't see anything wrong with it. So that was their big like cancellation.
Yeah.
People saw that and they were like, what the fuck? Who takes their kid's bedroom away? Who makes them sleep on a sleeping bag for 7 months? Or not sleeping bag, beanbag for 7 months. And so Ruby freaked the fuck out. She refused to publish an apology video and stop doing what she was doing. So rather than like doing that, she just like switched up her content from being this authentic family content to super religious. And it's like she was really focused on like the kids were bad and you had to learn to be good. And it was like all centered around religion. And around this time, they came across this woman or were recommended this woman who was a therapist named Jody Hildebrand. And she was a founder of a company called Connections, right?
Oh, sounds like a cult.
Yeah. Anyway, and she claimed to be a therapist, this whole thing. So Ruby and Kevin start seeing Jody. They've decided that Chad is really bad behaved. So they start making him do therapy with this Jody woman, right? And in the doco, Chad's like, you know, there was nothing really, like no red flags at this point, but it was very intense, very heavy on the religion, that kind of thing. Anyway, in COVID, so they build this like Ruby and Jody build this really strong relationship. And this other guy that was interviewed in the series, in the doco series, he was saying that Jody was drawn to fame and fortune. Yeah, and that's like, and he magpie. Would like, yeah, she would like treat any of her like famous or wealthy clients differently and really cling on to them and like kind of like dig her claws in. And so Ruby and Jody like became really, really, really close to the point where Jody basically was heavily integrated in their family, right?
That's weird.
So then COVID hits, okay? And being very religious.
Not like rule number maybe 2 of being a therapist is to not be personally like involved with your client?
Oh, you'd think so.
Anyway.
And to give you an idea of what they thought of Jody, because they talk about, like Kevin talks about it in Kevin's the husband. Yeah. They genuinely believed that Jody was called by God.
Oh,
and so everything she did or told them to do, they did.
It's like me with the tarot cards.
Yeah, I'm Ruby and you're Jody.
I was called by God to do this.
So COVID hits, and again, this is why I really struggle to take it seriously, because these people are fucked in the head. Like
I don't know.
I have no sympathy for Kevin, and you'll understand why when I go through this. So COVID hits, and at this point, like, they've been to Jodie's house and they're there a lot, like, as a whole family. They truly thought the world was ending. Like, they truly thought
why
COVID was like the end of the world.
Yeah.
So they were prepping.
Oh.
They were like, you know, like Preppers, the TV show. Mm-hmm. It was that. And Jodie had bunkers under her house, essentially.
Damn.
That they were just filling with prepping materials because they thought the world was ending. Anyway, So they would spend a lot of time in her house.
On that, if the world were to end, there's no way I'm living through it. Like, I am not... What am I prepping for? To not have TV and access to my phone? That's fucking ridiculous.
Charge your Kindle. That'll be good.
Why would I want to live through that? Why would I...
If the world was ending or like a zombie thing was happening...
I'm getting bit first.
No,
I'm standing outside in a deck chair.
No, this is what's happening.
Waiting.
I'm picking you up. Picking you and Coco up. Her and Benji will just have
They'll need to figure it out in the back seat.
And we're going to the farm.
Yeah,
the farm is our best shot. Okay?
George would piss me off in fucking 30 minutes.
Well, we could sacrifice him. We can let him out. Like,
I just... Like, if the world was ending or there was a zombie apocalypse,
if the world was ending, would you come over now?
I'm not living through... Like, you cannot pay me enough to live through that.
Yeah. See,
Let me turn, put a collar on me, and then I'll be a little pet. I'll be a little pet. Like, I don't want to live through it, but I also want to be involved and, like, see you out, see what you get up to. So I'm going to... that's...
I must say...
If I get turned, I know I'm going to turn. Like, I'm going to make it happen. But you need to be there to be like, all right, now you kind of just need to come with me now.
I must say, if I had the money, prepping is my dream.
Really?
I'm a Virgo. So, like, prepping really appeals to me.
I'm out for the count.
Anyway, so they're spending heaps of time in this woman's house, right? And weird stuff was going on, apparently.
What do you mean?
And Kevin's saying that one day he saw a handprint on a window, but the fingers, like, were super long, right? And he's like, I've got a photo of it. I'll show you. And when they showed the photo, I'm like, did we see the same thing? Because this just looks like a normal handprint to me. Anyway, so everyone was convinced that the devil was at the house.
That's the most logical explanation.
So you know what Ruby says?
What?
Ruby goes, well, we can't leave Jodie here with the devil.
Why not? I think Jodie could fight the devil.
So we're going to have Jodie move into our house.
Oh.
We're going to have our therapist move into our house.
Oh.
Okay. So Shari, the eldest daughter, she was saying that when Jodie moved in, it was 2 weeks before she was moving out to go to college.
Yeah.
So she was kind of like, it was annoying, but I was like, I only had to deal with it for 2 weeks.
14 days.
It was fine. So then Jodie is living with them and Jodie starts acting really weird, right? Turns out Jodie is possessed by the devil. Okay. And they show video of it and I'm like, okay. She's like having fits. She's like talking to herself, saying weird things.
This sounds like me on a Monday. Me getting ready for work.
And they're like interviewing Kevin and he's so deadpan. He's like, she was possessed by the devil. Like she was possessed. We had to help her.
God.
And so Ruby truly thought that her and Kevin were like their purpose in life was to help Jodie overcome this by casting the evil spirits out.
They were the conjuring couple. What are their names?
I know
Ed and oh god damn.
Ed and Eddie.
Ed and Eddie.
While you look for that, so they truly thought that this was happening. So you know what Kevin was doing?
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah. So Kevin starts performing full-blown exorcisms on her.
That's not allowed. You can't do that. You need to get approval for that sort of thing.
Like,
oh, Kevin.
So
Kevin Dole.
Shari's moved out at this point and Jodie's staying in Shari's room.
Yeah.
Right? And Ruby's like, she's possessed by the devil. She needs a friend. She needs a minder. I'm going to stay with her because she needs a friend. So I'm going to share a bed with her. Anyway.
That's suspicious.
Shari's like, I came home from college one weekend.
Oh, no.
And like had to go into my room to get something. No. And like Jodie or whatever was still there. And I saw there was like candles and massage oils and stuff. And she was like, the vibe's just weird. And the producer's like, do you think that they were lovers? And she's like, well, I have my opinions, but I don't know for sure. And they were like, what's your opinion? And she's like, I think that they were lovers. And then Kevin says that he feels like there was something going on there because their relationship was more than just a friendship or a sisterhood. And he felt that Jodie wanted Ruby for herself and wanted him out of the picture. So she isolated him. Right? Meanwhile, while this is all happening, right, Shari's getting a bit sus on Jodie Hildebrand. So she starts she does a Google, okay?
Good on
Which
her.
I don't know why we've waited this long to Google
I know.
her.
We would have done
Right?
that before we hired her as our therapist, but I mean, anyway.
So she
Go
starts
off.
Googling her. Turns out she's not a licensed psychologist.
Well, clearly. Obviously.
Her kids don't speak to her. Her license was revoked, and there's all these things online where she's worked with families and completely broken up the families, like ruined the families.
Done the opposite of what she's meant to do.
So Kevin, somehow Jodie convinces Ruby to separate from Kevin because she has this mantra through her like connections cult, right, where she fucking consults all these people, but it's in group form, so it's very much giving cult, right? And in 1 week's thing, she's like, couples should all separate. Separating is good for the soul. And that's her like message for the week. And so Ruby goes, I need to leave my husband.
An easy homework task, teacher.
She's like,
Simple.
done.
Yeah, give me
So
20 minutes.
Kevin's like, well, I guess. He's such a fucking doormat. He's like, well, I guess if that's what you want.
Oh my God.
So he leaves. He moves out of the family home. Okay. So then by this point, Chad's 17 and he's been taught by Jodie that all these things are wrong. Everything he does is bad. Bad.
Poor Chad.
So he has all this guilt because he like had been watching porn and making out with girls. And keep in mind, kid's 17.
Doing what a 17-year-old
I don't know
what to do.
What do you want him to do? His taxes?
Yeah.
So he feels so bad about it that
You know, like in Charlie's Angels, and the guy's like, it's the Chad. It's the Chad. And then he jumps into the ocean. That's Chad.
I haven't seen it. And so he goes up to his mum Ruby and he explains it to her, and he's like, confesses to all this stuff. He's like, I feel so bad because, you know, Jodie obviously tells me that this is bad, like, rah. And Ruby at first is like so upset and like she's like, like it's the worst thing to ever happen. And then Chad describes Ruby like turns it off like a switch, like Jackie in maths, right? When she just stops crying out of nowhere. And she looks at Chad and she goes, you're the reason Jodie's possessed.
Oh!
You doing all these bad things is why Jodie is possessed by the devil. You need to leave. So she kicks Chad out of the house. She's like, you got to go because you're fucking with my missus right now. Okay. And Chad's like, well,
where do I go?
Off I go, I guess. So he just moved out, right? He didn't know what else to do. So then the neighbors start asking questions because on top of this, there's a huge shift in the there's still 4 kids in the house, right? There's a huge shift in the home dynamic and like the kids just seem miserable. Neighbors were realizing that the kids would be left home alone for like 4 to 5 days on end while Ruby and Jodie were at Ruby's house, to the point where the neighbors alerted Shari to this and she called the police, and in no surprise, the police did nothing because the children weren't in danger. And one of the neighbors that was interviewed, she was like crying on camera. She's like, I regret not just lying and saying that the kids were being harmed, even though I didn't think that they were, or I didn't see anything, because then none of what happened would have happened. Yeah. So anyway, then we come to the big arrest. So they're all staying so Jodie, Ruby, and the remaining kids are staying at Jodie's house. And one of the boys escapes from her house, manages to get to a neighbor's house and asks for help. When he shows up to the neighbor's house, and this is shown, they protect the kids' faces like the younger 4, but you can see the body cam footage. So this is all shown. He was severely emaciated with duct tape and wounds on his wrists and ankles. Like they showed him.
Oh my God.
Like in the condition he was in when he was found. I'm telling you now, this kid was literally just bone.
Jesus.
Just bone. Anyway, and he said that he was saying to the man that whose house he'd gone to that his younger sister was in the home and he hadn't seen her in over a month.
Oh my
God.
God.
But knew that she was in the home because he could hear her, but they were being kept separate, right? So he was the youngest boy and the sister that he's talking about was the youngest sister. Like,
how old were they at this time?
I don't know. But these were the youngest 2, right? So the middle kids were unaccounted for.
Damn.
So police get involved. They storm Jodie's house. And Jodie's home, she answers the door And she's like, well, you can't come in. You don't have a warrant. And the police are like, get fucked. We're here because a
It's a
child is
welfare
missing.
check, yeah.
They like rip her out of the house.
Yeah.
And I'm going,
Finally.
I'm like, fight.
Yeah.
So they're searching. She's got this massive mansion. They're searching through the house. They find a safe in the basement, but it's like quite narrow, right? And the police are like,
oh no,
we found a safe. What's the code? We need to check it because we
yeah.
need to check every inch of this
Yeah.
goddamn fucking house. She's like, I don't know the code. But in the same breath, she's like, because they're like, is it a safe or is it a room, like a secret room? And she admits that it's a secret room with a sink and a toilet in it, but she doesn't know the code. Okay.
Someone's in the fucking room.
So they're searching the house. They managed to find the young girl, Ruby's youngest daughter, in a bathroom. She had a shaved head. She was really, really skinny, and she was so scared that she didn't say a single word to the police. And this was in the like footage that was released when this was all happening, body cam footage. One of the police officers was so like mentally distraught from it. He like sat on the floor and just sat with her in silence and was like, you're okay, while like everyone else was looking for the house. So while this is all happening, Ruby wasn't there, but she's somehow been tipped off to it. So she calls Kevin, right? And she's like, the kids were demonically possessed. Our kids were demonically possessed. They confessed to it. Because Kevin's like, how do you know? And she's like, because they told me. They told me that they were being possessed by the devil.
Because you forced them to confess.
Right? And she goes, one of the boys got out and got to the police, and I can only imagine the lies he is telling the police. So you need to go and pick the children up from the police station right now. This is your chance to redeem yourself as their father. And Kevin goes, say less, my lord.
Oh my God. What a weasel.
He goes, the kids are possessed and need my help. I'm coming. Right? So he hightails it to the police station. While that's happening, the two middle children were found at a friend of Ruby's and appeared to be fine. Right? So Kevin pulls up to the police station and he goes in there and he goes, I'm here to pick up my kids. Like, my name's Kevin Franke. I'm aware that my kids are here. I'm here to pick them up. Anyway,
That's
so the
not
police
allowed,
are like, you need to come with us, sir.
Yeah, we've got some questions for you.
They take him into questioning, and he's saying that he hadn't seen them in over a year at this point.
Oh my God.
And he says in his interview on the documentary, he's like, I truly believed that my kids had been possessed by the devil and that the police were the bad people and that they were trying to tear my family apart.
What family? You're not a part of
And
it
you
anymore.
want me to feel bad for this man?
Yeah,
claiming that he didn't know what was going on and that he...
sorry.
Nah, you are a fucking moron, right?
Like, have some executive thinking. I don't know.
Like,
Maybe,
you can't be possessed by the devil.
like, just think it through.
If you could truly be possessed by the devil,
Think it
doll,
through.
I would have been a prime candidate.
Yeah,
Okay?
That's crazy.
So while all of this is happening,
But like, to think that, like, to be away from it for a year, you know what I mean? Like, I get, like, if you're, like, you know, in it and whatever and what, but they were separated for a year. What, like, you were just still thinking that your family were possessed by the devil for the whole year? You were still thinking that that was a logical reason
Imagine
as to
being
why your wife left you? I don't understand.
like, if mum or dad called me tomorrow and was like, the other one's possessed by the devil,
yeah.
right? I would be calling the police on the person who's just called me
Yeah.
to say that the other is possessed by the devil.
Like, I don't understand how you like,
How do you
get-
believe that?
yeah, and like you get an opportunity, like you've stepped away from it, you're not a part of that anymore, yet you still believe it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's because people are tapped,
What do you
right?
anyway?
So while that's happening, Ruby pulls up to Jodie's house while the police were there searching, which was a stupid thing to do.
Why the fuck would you go back?
Anyway, obviously she was arrested and she's mute. She doesn't ask how the kids are. She doesn't ask where they are. She doesn't speak. She doesn't answer any questions, whatever. So then they talk about like the questioning and the evidence. So Ruby was silent the entire time, refused to speak. Jodie didn't really speak beyond trying to manipulate police by saying things like, I'm a therapist. I sit on your side. I want to help you. If I knew answers, if I had the answers to what was going on, I would tell you, but I don't know what's going on.
Did they find anyone in the room, in the secret room?
No, they didn't, but they did find, did I skip over? Yeah, they eventually got into the secret room where there was no one in there, but they found duct tape, rope, gauze, and then like this mixture of cayenne pepper and like hot honey that had been mixed together, and what it was being pasted onto the children's wounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they were being tied up, right?
Yeah.
And then like on the wounds that was being caused by that, they were like putting that shit on
Oh
it.
my God.
Wait, this gets
Torture.
crazy. Right. Yeah, it was
Torture.
like actual torture. So this was the one piece that was like new information for me that blew my mind. So in the court case, it came out that the police had found a diary that Ruby had kept that detailed everything she had done to the children.
Oh, yeah, I've seen a clip of this on TikTok.
Where like literally everything she did was detailed, dates, timestamps, very detailed. There was like things in there like punishment was making the kids stand out in the sun in like the fucking desert for hours on end.
God.
All this kind of stuff. But in it, she over and over again is saying like, we're doing this because they're possessed by the devil. Like the diary did show that she truly believed that they were possessed by the devil.
That's crazy.
Which is fucking crazy in itself. But how stupid. Like, I'm not condoning these crimes by any means. But it's people do this, but then keep a diary of it.
Yeah.
So then when they get caught and go to jail, you can't go not guilty.
You can't refute it, yeah.
Girl, you've just written us
You wrote it.
a thesis on everything you didn't. We don't
Yeah.
actually need to do an investigation. You told us, which is nuts. Anyway, Ruby and Jody were both found guilty for child abuse. 6 counts of child abuse each, to my understanding. And they're both in prison for 30 years.
Only 30
each.
years.
But they would have been in their 40s. Well, no. Ruby would have been in her 40s, I believe. And Jody would have been older, like 50s or 60s.
Opportunity for parole, or was that not mentioned?
I have no idea. Is that not crazy?
That's insane.
So I watched that. That was a 3-part series on Disney Plus. It was interesting. But I knew so much of the case because I was really interested in it when it was happening.
Yeah.
That not a lot of it was new besides like the diary for me.
Yeah.
And seeing the footage of the kids was like pretty harrowing. The main thing that stood out to me was how stupid Kevin is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but I have no sympathy for a man that just had, genuinely was like, well, she says my kids are possessed, so they must be possessed.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, get a brain cell.
I feel just like so bad for kids in that situation where like their parents are just like adamant that they're just, possessed by the devil, just terrible kids. And then they get punished for it.
And it annoys me.
And you can't get out of that situation. Like,
what are you going to do?
Yeah. As a child, like, yeah.
And this is why people should be nosy.
Yeah.
Being a nosy neighbor is a good thing. And I will die on that hill.
How brave of that kid, though, to, like, try to make a run for it.
Yeah. I know.
Like, get help. Like, that's insane.
Bless his little socks.
Yeah.
But it also annoys me that having kids is so easy for people.
Yeah.
And it's always easy for the ones that really shouldn't have kids.
Yeah. 100%.
But then the people
What do you mean you're having 5?
But then the people that would, like,
6.
move hell and earth for their children.
Yeah. It's so hard for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what annoys me the most.
Yeah.
But yes, all the kids are fine, to my understanding. There's no real update on the 4 kids.
I wonder if they all stay together or if they...
I don't know. It's like, I mean, maybe the information's out there. I haven't seen it because they are trying to protect their identities.
Yeah,
and only Chad and Shari are like publicly known. Chad now has his own social media following.
Yeah,
don't know what he's doing with it, but he seems like a sweet kid, right? Shari is heavily advocating against family vloggers and bloggers.
Rightly so.
Yeah, so I am all with her on that one. I don't think people should be able to monetize their children on the internet because this is what happens.
Yeah.
So that's what I watched.
Damn.
But that's the worst stuff. Now we're on to the more lighthearted stuff.
Wild. Well, you watched this. Did you finish it?
I am halfway through episode 7.
Yeah, okay. We both watched Running Shot, which is on Netflix.
Isn't it Running Point?
Running Point. It is Running Point. Yep, you are correct. Don't listen to me.
Love Running Point.
Running Shot. It's written by Mindy Kaling, who was in The Office, wrote a couple of episodes of that, and she also stars in the Mindy Project. And the show kicks off when Isla steps in to run the fictional basketball franchise, the LA Waves, when her oldest brother Cameron must step down as president to attend rehab. So Isla's working with her brothers Ness, who's the general manager, and Sandy, who's the chief financial officer, to try and turn around the losing team, and she ruffles some feathers as she refuses to write off the season as a rebuilding year and takes an unorthodox approach to a shot at the playoffs and to regain the team's former glory. So the series kind of follows as Isla earns the respect of the team and manages them through their own personal dramas. And Isla really just relies heavily on her best friend, who's the chief of staff, Ali, and her fiance, Lev. For me, I don't know if you agree, but I feel like the first 2 and a bit episodes were really rocky.
They were just really cringy.
Yeah, I feel like the writing wasn't really all there. I feel like the cast was still kind of trying to figure out themselves, and how they gel together. And that's nothing new. I feel like with comedy shows, you do kind of need to stick through it. Unless it's something I don't know, Friends, or I can't even think of another one. Or maybe Modern Family, where the first episode is bang on.
Yeah.
Rarely will I watch a comedy show and I'm from episode 1, I'm this is brilliant. You kind of need to give it almost half the first season, for it to kind of figure itself out. But in saying that, though, it really does figure itself out and it does get better.
It was really good. So this series is loosely based on the LA Lakers and Jeannie Buss, who is the team leader. She also has executive produced the show. And she follows a similar, Kate Hudson's character, Isla Gordon, follows a similar trajectory to Jeannie, who became the president of the Lakers after her father died of kidney failure in 2013. So, and you can kind of see that it is very much Lakers. I think the whole reason for it taking a minute for the shows like this to get good is because these shows, they're the secondary characters make the show.
Yeah.
Jackie, the brother, iconic, right? I love Lev, the fiance. I mean, even though they're introduced early on, Ness and Sandy and Cam, fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
This show, and particularly the family dynamic, it's like Succession if Succession was really funny and lighthearted.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so funny.
This show is a mixture of Succession, Ted Lasso, and Nobody Wants This. It's so... kind of...
Particularly coming off the back of something as dark and scary and miserable as the Ruby Franke documentary. This is... I love it.
Kate Hudson is that bitch. She...
so good.
Is... an unreal actress. She was a great pick for the female lead because she really brings everyone together, I feel.
Yeah.
Her outfits were impeccable. She's so funny. She's so charismatic.
Yeah.
And she's gorgeous.
She just plays the role so well. I truly believe that she is that character. Yeah. She is just her perfectly.
And I love Brenda Song in this as well.
Yeah.
Hearing Brenda Song swear...
yeah.
tickles my brain some sort of way. I'm
She's
London
so
Tipton, what are you doing, girl? Yeah. That's crazy.
She's so good. There's one bit where I'm going to spoil this little bit because it's so funny that I can't not spoil it. I was talking to you about it when there's this big PR drama that's happening, and it turns out that Ness, the general manager, he has a burner account on Twitter, and he's I can tweet from my burner account and change the narrative of this. It's so fine. And they're no, it's fine. But then it just keeps blowing up. So then eventually Kate Hudson's character calls him in the middle of the night and she's tweet from the burner account. We're doing the burner account. He's fuck yeah. So he creates this great tweet, posts it, but accidentally posts it from his own account. And then once he sees it, he deletes it and then just reposts the exact same thing from his burner account. And so then everyone, the whole world realizes that burner account is him. And it's just, it's so funny.
So funny.
It's such a good watch. The episodes are only 30 minutes each. which is great.
Yeah. Easier to speed through. Like, you can see that it does draw a lot of inspiration from Ted Lasso. It doesn't quite hit the mark as much as what Ted Lasso does, but it's still good in its own right. Like, I hope it gets renewed. I feel like I would watch a second season of this.
Oh, yeah. And I'm recommending this to everyone. I feel like Ted Lasso went for more of that emotional.
It was wholesome.
Yeah, more wholesome and emotional in elements.
Inspirational.
Whereas this is purely meant to be super funny.
Just comedic value.
Yeah. I love it. It's so good. Everyone needs to watch it.
I'd give this a 3 out of 5.
I'd give it a 4 out of 5. But definitely push past the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, Soldier 3.
They're not bad. They're just cringy.
Yeah, they just take a while to get their feet underneath them.
And this is a good one where you can like watch it in the background while you're on your phone or you're doing stuff and you're not missing anything.
Yeah.
Which is good. So yeah. Highly recommend. And then Maths.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Maths this week. I'm not going to lie, everyone. I'm a bit behind.
I'll be real with you. I'm kind of sick of talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the same shit. It's just
that Adrian's a piece of shit.
Adrian's friends and family were exactly the same as he is, and just blindly supporting him through anything that he says, not willing to listen to Athena. Jamie and Dave adopted Billy and Sierra's fish, but they're tracking all right. Tony dropped during Family and Friends Week that he thinks he wants to have a baby and that's why he's not attracted to Morena, really.
Which is so stupid.
Which is fucking crazy because the man's like fucking 53.
What is men's obsession with having kids? For someone who doesn't have to do anything besides nut in a woman, you're so obsessed with having kids.
But to like come to that realization in your 50s?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, I saw a tweet today. Elon Musk, his 14th child has just been born.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Bro. Like, how hard is it to just, like, wrap it up?
Get a hobby. You
wrap
are
it the fuck up.
almost 60. You should be working on a retirement plan.
Right.
Not repopulating the earth.
Jackie and Ryan surprisingly had a good week in their own version of what a good week means, which is still a bit psychotic for me, but whatever. TJ and Beth, they're going strong.
Paul punched a wall.
So Corinna, they were out for drinks with Jeff and Ree, yeah. And then they were on their way back and a song came on the radio or on shuffle or something, and Corinna was like, oh, funny story, I actually slept with this rapper. Everyone had a laugh. A laugh was had by all.
Except for Paul.
Paul was disassociating in the back and ready to end it all. They get to the apartments and Corinna clocks that he's clearly upset, so she's trying to, like, you know, hug him and, like, reassure him and tell him that she's sorry and whatever. Didn't think anything of it. Thought it was just, like, a funny story. And, like, he's just really worked up and just needs some space, and she won't give him the space. So she's like, fine, like, I'll go over here, like, whatever, it's fine. And then he just smacks the wall, hits the wall.
Crazy. To be jealous of someone that someone fucked in their past, that's crazy.
Right? I think TikTok is alleging that it's Drake.
I saw someone say it was like Quavo as well. And
yeah,
I was like, what?
Alleged, who's to say? But yeah, so he was really remorseful about that the next day. They slept in separate rooms or separate apartments or whatever. He tells everyone at the dinner party, everyone's flabbergasted. Yeah. Jaws on the floor. And so that's probably going to get brought up in tonight's episode. And then Victoria and Elliot. So Victoria meets up with Lauren to get her point of view on who Elliot is as a person. Lauren pretty much says that Elliot is as shallow as a puddle in the desert. Like, there's just nothing to him, and he will never be someone that's vulnerable because there's nothing, no thoughts behind those eyes.
Yeah.
And so they're doing, like, intimacy week or whatever the fuck. Confessions week, maybe? I don't know.
It's just so dumb. Like, why are we going... I get that they're newer couples, but we've been through this.
It's like, it's such a weird setup where they bring a couple halfway through and they have to try to kind of like speed through the first 6 weeks.
Oh, it's just boring.
In the first
Like,
week.
we've done that.
Yeah, like
We've
I
done
don't
that.
understand.
Yeah.
Anyway, Elliot opens up about his sister's type 1 diabetes diagnosis and how like that's really the most life-changing thing that he's gone through because it really impacted his family. It like shell-shocked his mum and dad, and like he felt helpless in that situation. And Vic kind of rips him a new one because she's like, you had the opportunity to talk to me about absolutely anything and really be vulnerable, and that's what you bring up. And he's like, well, that's like the most helpless that I've ever felt. Like, that is me being vulnerable. I've never told anyone that.
It's diabetes.
And she's like, I expected more from you. Like, that's not even a story about you. That's a story about your sister.
Like,
and like, I get where she's coming from, but also I think she's been clouded a little bit with what Lauren has said about Elliot. And like, if like Elliot is telling you and he's being completely honest that that is the most traumatic thing he's been through, maybe it is and he's just really privileged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not everyone is going to have a traumatic past and like have shit to talk about. Like, if he's opening up to you about it, then like ask him about it. Like, how did it make you feel? Like, I don't know.
I think it's also weird for in that conversation to be like, what you've told me isn't enough.
Yeah.
Give me something worse.
I need more trauma, actually.
I want you to have a worse life than what you've told me.
It was crazy.
I agree with you. I think it's a little bit privileged to be like, my sister being diagnosed with diabetes is the worst thing to ever happen to me and my family. But
maybe that's genuine, though. You know what I mean?
That's all he's got. That's all he's got. Yeah, like that's
do you want me to lie? But yeah, she was really like up in arms about it, leading up to like the dinner party.
She does seem very on edge about him.
Yeah, and so it'll be interesting to see what this next week looks like for them.
Once you get to that point with someone, there's no coming back. Like if you're at the point where Veronica is at, where you're nothing that they do is enough. Like, I don't know. I think you just got to call it.
Yeah. Is her name Veronica or Victoria? I've been calling her Victoria. Who's to say? Something with a V.
That's how memorable this week's been.
Apologies to that woman. Anyway, there you go. There's your maths recap. I get to this point where I just like, I love the drama, but I just really don't care for it anymore.
I've moved on. I've got too much to do. I got to watch Southern Charm. I got to watch Summer House. There was other stuff coming out, and I agree, like maths, 4 episodes a week for what feels like 300 weeks.
It's like almost 12 weeks, I think.
Girl, nah.
Like if we're at week 6 and it's halfway, 12
weeks.
We're
only halfway.
Yeah. We just passed halfway.
Hey, PSA everyone, that's the last you're going to hear from us about math, because I'm not fucking watching. We have to start. Nah. Sorry. I'm bored.
Yeah.
Boring.
Reading.
I've read nothing.
Reading.
I've read nothing.
Oh, more of me. Y'all are going to be fucking sick of me. You're like, who lets this bitch talk? They'll be like, you know what? Get rid of her.
They're going to be like, finally, someone other than that grating, annoying voice.
They'll be like, you know what? Get rid of both of them.
Every man ever that's listened to us.
Oh my God, guys. I read 2 books this week. One of the books, it took me 3 weeks to read. So, you know, that's not that impressive. But nonetheless, I digress. Here we go. So I read the Reformatory. I cannot read today. Cannot read nor speak. I can't stop
yawning. I need a wee. God.
And I'm absolutely going to butcher this name. I had a mental note in my head to try to Google how to pronounce
Tananarive. That's what it's giving.
Yeah, Tananarive. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Reformatory by Tananarive. Sorry, there you go.
We're going to abbreviate it to TD.
No, I'm going to just call her Jew from here on out.
Oh, okay, anyway. That's fair.
So I'll give you the synopsis because that is going to explain it better than I will, because I also don't want to give too much away about the storyline because I really want everyone to read this book. So, gun to your head, everyone. 12-year-old Robbie Stevens Jr. is sentenced to 6 months at the Gracetown School for Boys for kicking the son of the largest landowner in town in defense of his older sister, Gloria. So begins Robbie's journey further into the terrors of the Jim Crow South and the very real horror of the school they call the Reformatory. Robbie has a talent for seeing ghosts, or in the book they call them haints. but a talent that was once a comfort to him after his mother's passing has become a window to the truth of what happens at the reformatory. Boys are forced to remediate for their so-called crimes and they've gone missing, but the haints Robbie sees hints at worse things. Through his friends Redbone and Blue, Robbie is learning not just the rules but how to survive. Meanwhile, Gloria is rallying every family member and connection in Florida to find a way to get Robbie out before it's too late. So this is set in like the 1930s, I'm pretty sure. And it was kind of like not advertised, but on Fable it came up as like a horror book. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll give it a crack. Didn't clock how many pages it was. It's over 600 pages. But don't let that stop you from reading it, because honestly, it was an amazing story and so well written. It's very chilling. Like there are ghosts or like haints in the story, but the real horror element of it is what the white men do in this story. And very much like the complacency that happens in this town. Because kind of like everyone knows that the Gracetown School for Boys is a reformatory and they kind of know a bit about the shit that goes down, but no one's willing to do anything about it.
Yeah.
And then kind of as the book gets darker, the lighter and more touching moments really like hone in on like how important family and friendship is in like any situation. And it kind of makes it even more special when those moments do come up, because the rest of the book is so fucking bleak. Ju's writing style is phenomenal in this, and it was very much like I felt like I was in Florida in the 1930s. Like you kind of, the pacing, like you kind of switch between like a trot and a sprint between the episodes, because some of the episodes, like they're really fast paced, like especially
episodes.
Yeah, episodes. Chapters are really fast paced. Like for example, for Gloria's ones where she's trying to rally up support, or like she's trying to go to the court to get them to kind of change Robbie's sentence. They're really fast paced because she's trying to get the work done, because she's trying to get like the outcome as soon as possible. Whereas Robbie's chapters are more kind of like slow and like descriptive, and like you feel way more anxious in them because you don't know what the outcome's going to be, and that's like very much how Robbie feels. And then what else have I written in here? I hope it gets optioned for a movie, because I feel like this very much read like a movie. Like I could see it in my eyes, through my eyes. See it in my mind through my eyes. Period. And then in the author's note, Ju explains that she had a relative named Robert Stevens who died in a school for boys at the age of 15 from being stabbed. And she wrote the novel to honor the memory of her relative, and that she wanted to give fictional Robbie a happier ending than what the real life Robbie had.
There you go.
And like, yeah, she went through all of this research. Like her dad went with her to Florida to like meet the people that had been at the school or had relatives that had been at the school. And like, I think it was like almost a 2-year research thing. But I love reading author's notes. I've said that before, but
yeah,
like,
you're a big fan of them.
You get so much more insight into why they wrote the book. And I feel like, yeah, her experience and her family's experience just makes it so much more, I don't know, just so much
profound,
more meaningful. Yeah. So yeah, this is such a tragic story, and like it's, oh my God, just there's so many sad bits in it. And like,
did you cry?
Yeah, there was one point, it was like one sentence and I sobbed.
Danica never cries, everyone. That's
I sobbed
huge.
on the train like a fucking weirdo. Yeah.
Yuck, you're a public crier.
I had my sunnies on, but yeah, I was like, it rocked me, guys. It absolutely rocked me. But yeah, this one was like easiest 5 stars for me, and my first 5-star read for 2025.
Yeah,
so
nice.
I would recommend this to anyone. Like it's a hard read because it is so harrowing, but it's so well done. So well done.
I hate when you read good books, because then it's like, okay, well, I have to add it to my TBR and read it now. And now my TBR is so long and I'm so behind you because you find all the good books. I'm still on Greta and Vowden, everyone. Don't ask me about it.
And then the second book that I read was more kind of lighthearted, and it's The Widow's Husband's Secret by Frida McFadden. This one is a short story, so I absolutely plowed through it. It's still decent, but yeah, it's still a short story. And she just took the absolute fucking piss with this.
I'm reading the notes and it literally dot point. She truly took the piss with this one.
I was reading it and I was just like, what, girl, what do you mean? Like, in one part, one of the characters, she has a friend over and the friend's like looking at her coffee table and she's got a Frida McFadden book on the coffee table. and the girl's like, oh, I've never heard of this author before. And the character's like, oh, like, you haven't? She's like, no, like, has Frida McFadden written Harry Potter? And they're like, no. She's like, Twilight? No. Oh, well then no, I don't know her.
You know, Frida McFadden got super baked one night and she's like, I've got an idea.
Truly.
And this is going to be
Truly. And it's kind of like set around COVID, and like the premise of the story kind of falls around like the husband shows the wife a photo of that blue and black or like white and gold dress. Yeah. And he's like, what color is this dress, babe?
What do you think it was in real life? Like IRL?
I thought it was blue and black.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, that's white and gold.
Oh, one of those.
And he's like, you're joking, right? And she's like, no, like it's white and gold. He's like, anyone can see that it's blue and black.
Yeah.
And then they get into this whole argument. Like, he gets really mad about it. He like storms off for a couple of days. She has no idea. She has no idea where he goes. He comes back and he's like really apologetic. He brings her flowers and he's like, oh, I also got you a present. She opens the present. It's a blue and black dress.
I'd kill him.
And then he holds up the dress and he's like, what color is it?
What a cunt.
And so, yeah, she kills him.
Oh, yeah, I would. That would piss me off.
But then other stuff happens. If you want to bump up your numbers for like a reading challenge or whatever, this is an easy one. Like, did I roll my eyes in this book? Yes. Did I have a fun time though? Also yes. Like, there's a point where she kind of like she has a connection with this other character. Like, form a connection. Because he's like, oh, you know, like, I love my wife, but I needed to get out of that relationship. And she's like, oh, like, why? Like, what's wrong? Like, you can talk to me about it, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, it was just really hard because she just didn't appreciate Nickelback.
You know what? That would end any relationship I'm in.
And then this bitch is like, I love Nickelback.
Yeah.
And then he comes back over to her place and she starts playing Rockstar. Oh my god.
Maybe I would probably give this book a 5 out
yeah,
of the
you
way
probably would. You probably fucking would. The ending was just,
this is the kind of book that I would write.
God. Yeah, it just, yeah, very lighthearted, not a showstopper by any means, but I mean, it's easy to get through. It's, like, kind of funny, kind of cringe, but
yeah, hey
ho. 2.5 stars for me.
Damn. Well, I've got no reading updates for anyone.
You can update on the book club though.
I was going to.
There you
actually,
go. There you go.
Believe it or not. So everyone, we've got our March book club pick. So Danica and I picked 2 books each to put forward, and we put them in a poll in our Fable, and you motherfuckers made 3 of them all win. So then we just randomly sent it to someone, our friend Nicole, and we were like, you pick out of the top 3. And that's how we've come to this decision. So our March book club pick is, drum roll please, The Spirit Collection of Thorn Hall by J. Ann Thomas. So the synopsis is, a young woman forced to live with ghosts in a mansion frozen in time must decide between forbidden love and the price of freedom in this gothic fantasy where Jane Eyre meets the haunting of Bly Manor, perfect for fans of Starling House. At Thorn Hall, a grand estate nestled in the Berkshires, 15 restless spirits roam, bound within the mansion's walls since the Gilded Age. Elegy Thorne bears the weight of her family's curse to preserve the mansion as it was in the 1890s, using ancient folk songs to keep the spirits secret and silent in order to avoid deadly consequences. When a mischievous child spirit wreaks havoc on the manor, the Thorne family calls upon their trusted preservationalist to restore the mansion. He brings along his son Atticus, a vibrant man full of life and ideas of modernization, and Elegy is captivated by him, igniting a longing for freedom she's never dared to embrace. Torn between her desire to follow her heart and her duty to her family and its legacy, Elegy begins searching for a way to release the spirit collection back into the afterlife and set both herself and the ghost free. With century-old secrets, peculiar magic, and spirits both whimsical and deadly, Thorn Hall will haunt and enrapture readers, and you might just not want to leave.
Dun, dun, dun.
So that's the pick, folks. It's a little bit random.
Yeah, like I'm trying to, like, is it scary? Is it a romance?
It's like pitted as a fantasy.
Okay, right, interesting.
So it's, I don't know, it's a bit left of field. I just liked the vibe of it when I put it forward. And so here we are. And if no one likes it, then Danica picked it. So.
No worries.
But yes, I promise my pledge of allegiance to the Delulu Diaries book club is I will finish Greta and Vowden this week so that I can move the fuck on and read something else.
Just stop. Just move on to something else.
No, because it's not bad. I just haven't been reading because I'm a loser. So I'm going to finish it and then I'll pick something completely different that you haven't read so that I can contribute to this conversation.
Oh my God, it's $26 on Kindle. That's a robbery. I'm sorry.
You'll find it online like you always
No,
do.
no. This one is so niche. They were like, no one's going to want to fucking download this.
It has good reviews on Fable.
26, Caitlin, that will financially ruin me. I don't know what you want.
We're going to have to buy one copy and just share it. See if we can buy it physically for less.
$39.80 for paperback.
Okay, not on Amazon.
That's crazy behavior.
I'm in trouble now, guys. So we're going to worry about how we're going to get the book separately. We might
Someone needs to buy a hard copy, scan every page, and then send it to me.
We can just upload the pages in the chapter breakdown in Fable.
Yeah, can you? Because, sorry.
Maybe the audiobook will be on Spotify or something. Anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But that's it, folks.
That's all.
That's
There
all,
isn't
folks.
anymore. Until next week. Sorry.
Until next week.
Hate to tell you. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. I'm trying to find a free version of this.
All right,
book.
well,
Don't mind me.
We're gonna go.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave you all to
Have
it.
a great week, everyone. Oh, footy starts this week, ladies and gents. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
So start scouting for Boyfriend League.
Dust off those player badges.
If you come across any potential recruits, please slide into our DMs with name, age, club.
Also, we don't care what team that you go for. If you're going to a live game, please get us content. We want to see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Period. Hell yeah. All right, folks.
Alrighty. Love you. Bye.
Bye.